Here's an expanded, flowing rewrite of the story as a continuous narrative, without any headings, bullet points, or breaks. Just one seamless, dramatic tale building on the original transcript's details while making it more polished, concise in repetition, and engaging for reading or narration. I've kept the core plot, vivid sensory details, escalating justice, and satisfying payoff intact, but smoothed out redundancies for better pacing. It started at 6 a.m., with coffee still steaming in my hand. I stepped outside expecting the usual quiet suburban morning in Pinewood Estates, Colorado, but my Jeep was gone, vanished from the driveway like it had never existed. No random theft, no joyride. This was calculated suburban sabotage. Security footage from 2 a.m. told the story. Delores Krenshaw, the HOA president, strutting under the streetlight in her signature pearl necklace, directing a tow truck like a conductor of petty tyranny. Her blood-red nails pointed at my black Jeep Wrangler while her brother-in-law, Danny, operated the winch. Bolt cutters flashed, chains snapped with a metallic clink, and a violation notice fluttered to the ground. Unauthorized vehicle modifications violate Section 12. 3B. Vehicle impounded pending compliance review. Management. That paper crinkled in the wind, igniting pure rage. What Delores didn't know, what no one in this cookie-cutter neighborhood of beige mailboxes, ruler-measured lawns, and 7 a.m. leaf blowers realized, was that the Jeep wasn't just mine. I'm Marcus Steele, 34, a federal wildlife crime investigator with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. That weekend warrior, ride-hid reinforced bumpers, hidden antennas, encrypted radios, and GPS trackers capable of following smugglers across state lines. It was part of Operation Nightingale, an active multi-agency task force dismantling exotic animal trafficking rings worth millions. Federal property, protected by constitutional supremacy. She had just committed theft of government assets, a felony carrying serious prison time. Pinewood Estates was supposed to be temporary cover while I tracked a wildlife smuggling cell operating quietly in the area. 200 identical homes, $400,000 median price, where conformity ruled with military precision. Delores, 60, bleached blonde, former real estate agent turned divorced HOA queen, ruled from her corner lot mansion like it was her kingdom. Her lawn felt like AstroTurf, mowed by a crew that arrived every Thursday at exactly 9 a.m. She greeted me week 1 with a welcome basket and a 47-page rule book bound in plastic, pages crisp with the scent of fresh printed misery. Week 2 brought a warning about my aggressive all-terrain tires threatening property values. Week 3, complaints about my odd hours. Federal assignments don't follow 9 to 5. I tried diplomacy first. Attended an HOA meeting with donuts from the good downtown spot. Explained my travel for work. The community center reeked of burnt coffee and defeat. Delores presided at the head table like a judge, flanked by Harold, the nodding retired accountant, perpetually confused yoga instructor Nancy, and Pete the insurance salesman glued to his phone. I brought Lieutenant Rodriguez, a 20-year veteran built like he bench-pressed motorcycles, as backup. But Dolores's ego bruised when I politely deflected her barbecue flirtations, shifting her focus to my Jeep like a detective spotting contraband. Photos appeared, manipulated shots claiming I parked over lines that didn't exist, angles defying physics. An emergency board meeting in her vanilla-scented living room voted 3-1 for $200 daily fines. Nancy dissented, the rest rubber-stamped. Background checks revealed a racket. Delores owned 30% of Rapid Recovery, towing through Danny. Every bogus violation fed their impound fees, storage charges, kickbacks. Not enforcement, extortion and pearls. Neighbors fractured, some gullible, some conflict-averse. But support grew. Frank, an 82-year-old Vietnam vet, slipped notes under my door in careful cursive. Forensic accountant neighbor Janet Kowalski whispered about fishy financials after her own rosebush fine. Audits uncovered missing funds, fake invoices, $47,000 siphoned through shell companies, towing, landscaping, emergency repairs in January snow. Delores escalated. Hired a cologne-drenched PI named Rick to tail me, then break in for evidence. Federal surveillance caught it all. License plates, facial recognition audio. Rick flipped fast, confessing conspiracy. Patterns emerged. Hispanic families hit with 340% more violations, veterans twice as many notices, elderly harassed over flags or displays. Discrimination dressed as bylaws. Offshore Cayman accounts laundered HOA money while families paid inflated fees. Forged board minutes authorized everything. Votes recorded when members were states away. When I returned from a Nevada assignment, the driveway was empty again. 2 a.m. Footage showed Delores directing the cut, pearl necklace gleaming, face smug. Federal property stolen, classified gear photographed, potential espionage exposure. The FBI Financial Crimes Unit, IRS, state regulators swarmed. Janet spreadsheets gift-wrapped the case. $147,000 embezzled. Fake vendors, international transfers. Community rallied in encrypted chats, documenting horrors. $20K boat fines for illegally parked vessel. $8,900 phantom repairs. An 84-year-old's flag fined as wrong size. The climax unfolded in the packed community center. Over 200 residents, TV cameras rolling. I arrived in the restored Jeep, federal markings proud. Delores entered defiant, lawyer in tow. I stood, badge out, Special Agent Marcus Steele, U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. This vehicle contains classified equipment for tracking international wildlife traffickers. Gasps rippled. Janet presented charts. Embezzlement totals, laundered funds, personal luxuries bought with stolen dues. Delores erupted, screaming government harassment, discrimination against successful women, leaping from her chair. Marshals moved in, reading 23 felony counts, wire fraud, mail fraud, civil rights violations, theft of government property, obstruction, money laundering, RICO, racketeering. Handcuffs clicked to applause that echoed for minutes. Her perp walk drew cheers. She pleaded guilty to avoid decades, taking 8 years in federal prison, $380,000 restitution under triple RICO damages, licenses revoked forever. Assets seized recovered $189,000 for victims. New board, Janet, Frank, Maria the teacher, Robert the nurse, rewrote rules with transparency, anti-discrimination clauses. A community garden rose where grass once got tyrannical measurements. Property values climbed 12%, zero discrimination complaints since. 1 year later, Pinewood thrives, democratic, healed, a model for reform. Colorado passed HOA oversight laws. Federal guidelines cited our case. Dolores's prison letters confessed years of abuse across states, feeding nationwide investigations. Justice arrived slow but certain. No one is above the law, not even HOA presidents who mistake clipboards for crowns. If you faced HOA overreach, document everything. It might spark the next takedown. Share your stories below.